DraftKings. It's fantasy MMA. It's really fun. You get to pick 6 fighters, 50,000 salary cap. Each fighter is worth 5 to 10. So you can either pick one big underdog, like 2 medium dogs, or like 3 small dogs where the betting lines are fairly close. This week I made a bunch of cheap cards. 10-cent cards, 25-cent cards, dollar entries, and one $2 entry. Last week I made $21 on my 20 bucks. Thank you, Amanda Lemos. So I'll give you a little short breakdown of the fights that I picked this week and why and who I picked and how I stacked them. So the main goal is going for points and seeing how a fight is going to play out. You don't want to pick a fight that's going to have a boring decision, even if you know the fighter's going to win, which often I'm guilty of. And you'll get robbed of a lot of bad decisions that way too. So stay away from the decisions as much as possible, unless you know the fighter's going to completely dominate for all the rounds. There's a couple fights where you want to pick both of those guys. If you can, stack them on all your cards. A fight like Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier is a fight where you would want to stack both of them. They both put up lots of points. Another fight that's going to score lots of points in the first round is going to be Ottman Azaitar versus Matt Frevola. Izzy versus Alex. Alex is the underdog on DraftKings, so he's super cheap. There's a possible chance of a knockout there if it goes 5 rounds. There could be some knockdowns, possibly a good finish. But those scores are pretty low. It's worth it as the underdog, and Izzy's not too expensive. I also stacked Olberg and Niga Morano. I think that's a fight that's going to have a lot of action in it. So I have Dan Hooker also. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns of Puelles. I was looking at Puelles at first, but I'm going to stick with Dan Hooker. I stacked Ryan Spann as a big underdog. He's super cheap for $6,900. So I was able to also stack Blanchfield and Weili Zhang, who are the most too expensive on the card, $9,500 and $9,400. There's some fights that I completely ignored just in case moments, like the Chris Gutierrez. He could get completely out-wrestled by Edgar, or he could knock out Edgar. That fight could go either way, but one's really expensive and the other one's kind of cheap. But I don't rely on Edgar's chin right now at 41 years old. Do not let your heart deceive you while you're playing money. Take a second to pause this video to take a look at my cards for each one. I'm going to slide them through. Each screenshot will show each card and fights that I picked the most from expensive to least expensive. So this is my most played, most expensive card, 6. Here's some more of my fights. Got Frevola on there. Choi, I got him plugged in. I got some guys that I think they're going to win randomly plugged in as well. Turman, he's a good underdog as well. Some good fights. Join us. Last card.